Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Less Known Classics. This is episode number 2013 and Doubleshot number 1907. I have two trades. Now, the thing about these two trades, they're both drawn by two familiar Batman artists. I actually met the other one at Comic-Con just this year. This first one, I have never met before. I think it was at one Comic-Con I was supposed to go. I actually went to. I think he canceled last minute. And, of course, this is a guy who actually created this character. He talked about his miniseries. He wrote and drew this one. Though this is the only time I can think of he did any writing. But he's nowhere to be a very good artist. Andy Kubert. We have Damian, son of Batman. Yes, this was actually by far the very first solo book for Damian. Though it's a non-canon miniseries. It's an Elseworld story. Yep. This is set in the future. I'd say like 10 years future because Damian is pushing about late teens per se. Batman is like in his 50s. He's old. Now, the way the artwork is drawn, I at least gotta love the fact how Andy Kubert basically draws his artwork. It's done in a similar style to what you see for Neil Adams or Jim Lee with the style of artwork, which I appreciate that. Yeah, so basically, this book contains not only the 4-issue miniseries Damian, Son of Batman, it also contains stories from Batman, from the main Batman title, by the way. Yes, issue number 666 and issue 700. Now, technically, this particular version of Damian did show up in Batman 666, but this miniseries is set before that issue, and 700 is like the most recent thing to deal with the character. Yes, this of course is the deluxe edition of this trade, of the collector's series. Yes, so let me show you another really good page of artwork. Yes, so here's basically Bruce Wayne. Yeah, that's how he's picked in this miniseries. So. Yeah, and plus they have a really... In case you're wondering, though, this Andy Kubert does do a really good page of the Batcave. Well, it's only one page, but it's really, really good. The whole thing about this one is Damian becoming the next Batman. At first in the miniseries, he is Robin, and then later on he does become Batman after his father gets knocked into a coma. He actually knocks his own father into a coma. Bruce doesn't die per se. And then, of course, he gets kidnapped later on in the miniseries by a Joker. Well, not the actual Joker, per se. This is actually supposed to be his successor until the real Joker shows up, kills him, and doesn't go any further from there. But in the case of this book, it's mostly put a violent depiction on Batman, per se. Yeah, that's mostly put what it is. Now, if you're curious, though, this here, it may be very bloody, but that's a suit that Damian wears when he's basically Batman. Now, this is the dark future that, of course, that basically DC have been teasing, usually been having little hints here and there of this particular future might happen because in book, basically, Talia does want Damian to succeed as Batman. Damian doesn't want to do it just yet, per se. One thing, he's only about 14. I think he's like 14 by the most recent book that came out. Now, this is the first of 3 solo books for him. The second one being a canon ongoing series, originally done by another artist who actually also wrote it, Patrick Gleason, though he actually left the series by issue 8, replaced by Ray Fox for the rest of the series. And then we have the recent Josh Williamson book, which lasted 17 issues. And that was the longest, I believe that was actually the longest book for Damian to date. But for this miniseries, now in the case of 66, it's mostly set after the miniseries. The miniseries is a prequel to that, so it's in the future. Damian is bold in that particular thing, and he's more of a violent Batman. He actually is willing to kill his own enemies. 700 is another story featuring him, and it's actually not done by Andy Kubert at all. Oh no. The 2 issues, now Andy Kubert does do 666, but the other story in here is done by... Well, Tony S. Daniel. Yeah, Tony S. Daniel does actually one story in here. I believe it was a story from 700. Yeah, I believe that was basically him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this was really good. Now Bethlehem, that's actually from Batman 660. That's not by Grant Morrison and Kubert. They're the ones who do the issue. Here's a more better depiction. This is from issue 666, and of course, well, like I said, the miniseries is basically a prequel to this. Now, in the case of the other one, Time and the Batman, this actually is also from the same trade of Time and Batman, done also by Grant Morrison and Kubert. Great job. Though I think that explaining Damian's backstory of how he was conceived was probably from his perspective kind of gross, but it's kind of weird. But it is semi-canon. Yes. Like the whole thing, him being conceived the way he was, that's been canon for years. So if you read this miniseries, like, wait, what? The scientific stuff, Batman and Talia have sex. Oh, by the way, they actually have, well, they had, despite the fact, yeah, Batman and Talia have sex. We still have Batman keep his mask on for some reason. Don't know why, but it's a pretty good miniseries. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. I think it's actually pretty good. This basically, this does mark basically like almost everything for Damian that I've reviewed for solo-wise for him. Because the only thing left to go is just the final trade for the most recent one for Robin. And that's it for him. Alright, next up is another miniseries. Now this one is definitely done by a Batman artist. He did the 3 crossovers with the Batman Team Heroes crossovers. This is another crossover he did. This was actually I believe if I remember correctly, I think it was like one of 3. I think it was like the 3rd crossover that these characters have worked on. Now, I don't think they actually crossed over Turtles. I don't think they ever did. I know these people did crossover with the Justice League. But here we have Godzilla and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yeah. And this is written by Colin Bunn. And yes, like I said, the artist, who is a Batman artist, Freddie Williams II, who I have met. This whole mini-series is simply... Now, from what I can tell, this is definitely set during the first season of the show. When I'm assuming after Tommy showed up. I'd say before the finale. And definitely well before Lord Zed showed up. Yep. So, they're fighting Rita, and then they get transported in our universe where they meet up with Godzilla. And Tommy's the first person to see this universe when he got transported over. And Tommy sees a monster. What does he do? Summon the Dragon Zord. And we have the Dragon Zord, who is based upon Godzilla, mostly a little bit based on Mechagodzilla, and they fight. And we also have the other Rangers show up, fight, do Megazord, fight there. We even have the combination of the Dragon Megazord and the Dragon Zord and the other Megazord. I don't remember what it's called. The combination. We even have Tommy inside the cockpit. Now, in the show, Tommy never really went into the cockpit at all when he was the Green Ranger. Really interesting idea. And Rita forms an alliance with, get this, the people from Planet X. Yes. Who first appeared, I think the first they appeared in the movies that I remember, I think it was Godzilla versus Monster Zero. And then basically we have the Rangers team up with Godzilla to fight him. And they fight Gidon. They fight King Ghidorah, which is so awesome the fact they fight him in here. Now you might think, okay, do they fight any other like Godzilla monster per se besides Gidon and King Ghidorah? Oh, by the way, apparently we brought back the Eye Guy. Brought back him. Yeah. Now, I think in the case of Godzilla, this is probably set during the show era. But this is based on the Planet X uniforms. So, that is my personal guess. At one point in the miniseries, Tommy gets captured and is going to take away, but he does get back. Which, that was interesting because that never happened in the show. Tommy was never captured by Rita Repulsa at all after she escaped. Oh, by the way, we even have this creature here. I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe this creature was from... we also have... These two creatures here, they're from Son of Godzilla. This one here, I'm trying to remember. Oh, I think this may have been the monster from. I think this is Megaguirus, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this is from the second of the Millennium movies. And here's King Ghidorah. So awesome. And Rhea's like, yes, now that's a monster. It is called King Ghidorah. Yeah, but it's so awesome the fact that we have the Dino Megazord taking on King Ghidorah. It's awesome. Yep. All out monster melee. But it is just so awesome seeing this miniseries. Who would have thunk basically to have... And then we have, get this, after this miniseries, we have Rhea sent to the multiverse. The multiverse has been shattered. So basically, then we see images of, get this, the RPM Rangers, a couple versions of Godzilla. This one, based upon his face, I think that's from the Heisei series. We also see Lord Draken. Yeah, that teases Shattered Grid. The Dino Charge Rangers. That's interesting. Let's see. Then we see a goofy version of Godzilla. I'm not sure what universe that one's from. Yeah, that's it. Great, interesting page. Appears to be lost in dimensions. Oh, don't worry, she'll be back, no problem. But yeah. Yeah, I love this line. Power Rangers, Godzilla, Power Rangers. The multiverse is shattered, and everywhere I look, I see those miserable brats and that terrible lizard. Thank you, Colin Bond. That line was funny. This miniseries is pure awesomeness at its finest. By the way, in case you're curious, though, this is only 5 issues. Yes. I love it. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out. Actually, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 because it's so awesome. Yep. Again, this is a cross between IDW and Boom Studios. Yeah, Boom Studios have the rights to Power Rangers, obviously. Of course, it's licensed by Hasbro. And, of course, we have IDW. Here's something I would really love to see them do. Especially since, well, Hasbro has Power Rangers. Why not have a team-up series where we have the Transformers team up with the Power Rangers? As far as I can tell for crossovers-wise, I believe this was their... I think it was actually the third. Because I do own one where the Power Rangers team with the Turtles. Yes, there's that one. There's this. And one with just like... There's technically done 3 crossovers. And surprisingly, this is one of the biggest ones they've actually done so far in terms of story. But you have to think, okay... They teamed with Justice League, so they went DC Universe, they went to Godzilla, they went to the Turtles. Well, for a second for IDW, cross the Power Rangers, but they did one with DC. You're thinking, okay, who else to cross up with? Well, in the case of Transformers, that is possible due to the fact Hasbro does own the rights to Transformers because it's their property. But due to the fact IDW is losing the rights to it, I heard a rumor that they're going to Dark Horse. Yes, Transformers and G.I. Joe are going to Dark Horse. If that's the case, what about ROM, Mass, Micronauts? What about the rest of Hasbro properties? That's a very good question. Is Dark Horse going to bring it back? I don't know. I don't know basically how Dark Horse is going to handle, well, handle them per se. But in the case of, is it possible that we could see a crossover between Power Rangers and Transformers? Yes. It is 100% possible, like I said, because they own both brands. There's nothing that says they can't do it. No, nothing I can think of, no. I'm sure in the case of this one, they probably had to go to, now IDW for this one, but probably have to also go to Toho themselves, because they're the ones who own the rights to Godzilla, so they probably asked their permission for this. So that's my personal guess how this happened. But yeah, I started to review both miniseries this episode purely because they were miniseries by really good Batman artists I'm big fans of. One, of course, I have met. The other one I have not met yet, per se. The one I have met is Eddie Cooper. The one I have met is Freddie Williams II. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much the episode review. Next up is going to be Baruto. and then another comic corner, and then Chainsaw Man. Okay, next video. Bye.